G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Games, spawning in on the southwest side of the map, playing as the Chinese in the teal. We've got Crackety here. Over on the northeast side of the map in the green, playing as the Rus. We've got 1466 860 with a very loud scout. It is a Rus game right now, so I'm going to do my best to avoid the wolves early. Now, we don't really know who 1466 860 is, but my sneaking suspicion, because this guy at the moment, he's like rank 4 on the ladder, is it's probably Lucifron or Vortex. These guys are absolute gangsters when it comes to the ladder, and they're always smurfing it up with their silly little names, so I reckon it's one of them. Could be both of them. I don't know, maybe they're doing that StarCraft Archon mode thing. You guys seen that? That'd be pretty cool having that in Age of Empires 4, wouldn't it? Archon mode. You know, you control the economy, I'll control the military, that sort of thing, or maybe I'll just control the left. I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but it would be fun. It would be very fun. So he's going to be opening up with just the standard hunting cabin, only the 10 gold a minute on that one. Interestingly, not going for the hunting cabin on the back side, but I guess he wants it out the front, maybe, to make the scouts closer to the enemy base. Perhaps that's it, or just, you know, doesn't want the extra walking distance. Maybe he's going to be doing a fair bit of walking around, so always something to consider. We'll watch, wait, and see. Over on the other side, we'll check in with Crackety, see how he's doing. Looks like he opened up with a 5-1 build, so this is a classic Chinese build. Typically the best Chinese build if you don't have that straggler tree near a mill. But if you've got a straggler tree near the mill, then the more optimal build is to actually go for that. It's the same build that Beastie uses. I think Grubby also uses that build as well. It is a build order I absolutely love. And it's very efficient, but it has different efficiencies. And speaking of efficiencies, look at this right here, Crackety, bringing in absolutely everything. He's got sheep in tow, he's got wolves in tow, and he's trying his best to take out the deer as well. Actually popping it down right next to his berries as well. So not a bad little spot. There's going to be a beautiful mill right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mill in a second town center right there. Just juicy. But he's going to be careful not to lose that scout. And I think he realized, oh my god, Crackety, don't lose that scout. He's going to try. I think he'll get it here. This should be fine. How much damage do the wolves do? They do 3 damage a pop. So as long as he doesn't take... Oh, he's healing up as well, so he's fine. Nice little micro there from Crackety. Manages to get the final shots. Brings the rest of those wolves in. We're right on board with Vortex, aka Lucifron. You know, some people would say that we've never seen Vortex and Lucifron in the same room together. So, just throwing that out there. But, Interestingly, didn't go for more than a second scout. Just went 2 scouts in his opening, but he's now going into a wheelbarrow. So I'm curious to see exactly how this unfolds. And I guess the reality is that the Rus can kind of go for an early wheelbarrow for free, can't they? Like, when you think about it, he's not losing anything by going that early wheelbarrow. He doesn't have to gather the gold. He doesn't, like, he's already on wood in the first place. So he's basically just getting a free wheelbarrow. That's kind of crazy when you think about it like that, isn't it? Because, like, obviously he's got a pretty decent bounty. He's at 260 at the moment, but I would consider that about... Look, that's kind of like your hashtag couples goals, like hashtag Rus goals right there. It's about that bounty level. Like, obviously there are games where you get like 320, 330, that kind of thing. And looks like we got villagers moving out. It's going to be a Barbican. Whether it goes down, I'm suspecting it's probably down here. There's a boar. There is a hunt, so if he's smart about it, he'll drop his Barbican probably right here and then lure the boar up. That's going to be the key factor, because if you're... Okay, boar coming up, though. This is smart. So typically what you'd want to do... Oh, is that's Lucifron luring that boar. Oh, he's being so cheeky. So for anybody who doesn't know, the boar will disappear off the mini-map when it gets lured to max leash range. So Lucifron was wanting to come down here and take this. This is what you will do. Typically, if you want to take a boar, you will remove it from the mini-map. It's to be honest, it's an exploit, but a lot of people do use it. So it's kind of, I would say it's almost an acceptable thing, but you can see how it's not on the mini-map anymore. And so... If I was looking to expand, I'm like, oh, I'll look for a boar to expand to. And I'm looking at my mini-map. I see this one in the north, but I don't see this one in the south. But it is still there. So because it reaches the maximum leash range, it's that circle that we typically talk about. Barbican going to be coming down now, though. If Vortex was smart, what he would have done is come back down here, lured this boar back up onto these villagers. I mean, to be fair, the village is actually going to get forced back. So he spots out that Barbican a little bit late. Perhaps he didn't even realize that Barbican was going up. I thought he'd realized, but I guess that's not going to be the case. Crackety now reaching the Feudal Age. Wooden Fortress going up in the base here. And Vortex, a.k.a. Lucifron, Vortex or Lucifron, going to have to head to the other side and look to take that boar. So a lot of lost time right there. And super smart from Crackety to realize that that was where his enemy was going to be going. But we can see, look at the damage coming out on that Barbican, or from the Barbican onto the boar. Boar basically with no health left immediately just gets taken down by the villagers. A couple of hits go in against these villagers, but they're fine. And that boar going to be going down, so dropping in the mill right next to it. Crackety here looking very, very decent. Over towards that north side, though, looks like boar is going to get lured back towards the base here of Vortex or Lucifron. Villagers moving in, going to be looking to all get into melee range. Very important factor here is that your villagers, when they're in melee range, do a lot more than when they're in ranged. Did I say melee range? Anyway. So I think, yeah, so here you can see this one's got 6 knife. I think it works out to be 3 ranged attack is what your villagers have got. And that's actually correct because your deer carcasses have got 5. And so it's designed so that you would 2-shot those deer, but you basically do no damage against the boar in range. But we've already got some early aggression coming out. Vortex going to be looking to try and defend against this, or Lucifron, whichever one it is. We're just going to call him the Rus player for now. Villager's going to have to fall back. You can see he's got so many villagers out here as well. This is the consequence of taking these early aggressive boars. And look, you can see he's being punished for this early aggression or early greed. He could have put a single wooden fortress down right here and guaranteed that he gets this boar. But instead, he tried to be cheeky, tried to go for a hunting cabin and a stable. No wooden fortress, went for a delayed wooden fortress. And now we see more villagers, or the same villagers rather, continuing to come out. Wooden fortress going to go down, but it doesn't protect the boar. He cancels the wooden fortress now. And so Crackety here going to be looking in a great position. Stable going to be coming up, but that ain't going to protect you against this. Outpost going to be through. Let's see if that's stable. There we go. He cancels a couple of units that were in queue. I think it were villagers. Villagers now turn their attention towards the outpost. He just keeps on buying time, but the thing is he can't... There's only so much time he can buy because once that knight comes out, it is going to be good game. And villager pool with an Imperial official coming out to join the party as well. You can see how many vills are we got in here. We've got 4 vills. They're all getting in on the dance party right now, just trying their best. Everybody going to turn their attention towards this outpost. It looks like the outpost is going to get up, and with that, the outpost is going to be able to deny the boar, but the question is at what cost? A lot of these villagers here are low health. He's going to need at least another outpost here if he wants to keep these alive. We see that the hunting cabin does get cancelled. He's got the early night out, but instead of turning on these villagers, he just goes in the other direction. This is a bit curious. Second outpost now coming up. The correct decision from Crackety. Needs to defend, and look at the macro from Crackety. Absolutely gone mad right now. And that is just the consequence of the boar on the other side. Very smart. Moves the lower health villagers into the outpost. The boar down here, it's doing so much work for Crackety. Think about this. The whole time Crackety has been down here, you know, we could have had Vortex or Lucifron gathering up non-stop over on this position, but obviously it's not the case. It is not the case because that tiny little bit of lack of intel just ruins absolutely everything. And now Knight running in, looks like it gets a decent charge there on one of the villagers. It was a full health villager, so villager doesn't go down. And now continuing to just push in and out. It's a little bit weird. A little bit weird. He falls back and comes back through. Knight trying its best, not getting any charges off. It can't do any charges because the scouts can intercept. You saw that intercept right there. He tried to charge the villagers and got an instant charge. Tried to get a hit there. Wasn't successful with that, but he's going to continue sieging down this stable. And it's only a matter of time before this stable does go down. Knight's going to get chased away. On the backside, it looks like we've got spears out for Crackety as well. Villagers continuing. Oh, one villager does go down. And in fact, I apologize. I've just missed 17 villagers dying in the classic Drongo move. It's like the moment we move away, the knight pops out and boom, that was all she wrote. But stable going to be going down. We see Crackety now going to be dropping down an Imperial Academy as well. We'll take a look at his line of sight and see exactly what he sees. He sees the woodcutters, and he also sees the archery range in the middle from that Barbican. So Barbican definitely paying off dividends right now. So that telegraphs, hey, Crackety, you don't even need to send a scout to your enemy right now. You know what they're doing. When you see this, you can almost certainly guarantee Rus is going to be one base. Rus is going to be staying in Feudal, and Rus is going to be doing a big timing push with a lot of archers and battering rams. Those are the things that you can discern. So how do you react to that? Well, as China, there's 2 ways. First way is through the stable, which we can see Crackety's already got. But the problem is, as soon as the Rus starts mixing in spears, that's when you're going to have real issues. So I am a much bigger fan of just going heavy Chokunu. Chokunu are a unit that trades incredibly well against the Rus, with the exception of the Knight. As long as you've got enough spears for it, it is fine. But interestingly, we don't see Crackety going for any villagers. This is normally a sign of good early game macro, and I'm not joking when I say that. So a village costs 125 wood. So if you've got lots of wood in the early game and you don't really know what to do with it, you can just pop down a village. So, you know, it's a good sign of having very tight macro if you don't have any villages. But also, it could be, you know, a bad build order because they are an efficient building to get out, and you want to try and get them out early, but at the same time, it's very difficult to squeeze them in. Now that knight going to be coming through, we can see that the spearman going to be here to meet it. Gets off a point-blank charge. I don't know how those knights do that. Oh, actually, I think I do. He charged over here. So instead of right-clicking the unit immediately there, he charges this villager, and the charge just goes directly for it. Spear going to be able to clean that up, though. Right on board over with Vortex or Lucifer and see how he's doing. It's going to be triple Sacred Sight, triple archery range, as well as a couple barracks to back it up. Now, we know that he spotted the stable. Obviously, we can't tell 100%, but it's pretty guaranteed that knight came in and saw that. And so with that getting spotted, he also sees the horseman coming out here as well. So he's going to react by throwing down the barracks, which is definitely the correct decision. We'll ride on board with him and see how he's doing. He's got a couple of villagers up here, just doing some long-range deer. I say long-range deer gathering, but it is well and truly within the acceptable realm of gathering those deer, especially after the changes to them. It was quite a few patches ago, but it was definitely the right direction for them to go with that change. So very, very happy to see that. His bounty's on 355, so a pretty decent bounty, about what you'd expect in a game like this. So I would expect, depending on whether he gets up first or second to the castle age, will depend on whether he goes for the high trade house. But in the event that he does, I mean, he's got to, like, if he gathers this out, he can pop a high trade house in here. He could potentially, you know, be up to 500 gold a minute, that sort of thing. It's very, very efficient for him to do that. But we'll ride on board with Crackety. We'll see how he's doing. And whether he's started making Chukunu. Indeed he has. He's got 3 out at the moment. Actually, let's just double check exactly. Yeah, he's got 3 out at the moment. No blacksmith just yet. It's really important when you start making Chukunu in these sort of later feudal fights that you get your blacksmith up ASAP. Chukunu are by far the unit that benefits the most from, I think it's called balanced projectiles, but I'm not 100% sure what it's called. +1 ranged armor. Oh, sorry, +1 ranged attack. Cute little attack coming in from Crackety. Always a bit dangerous to do attacks like this, just simply because if your enemy's got line of sight, like they might have a scout, and you can see Crackety doesn't have a scout over here, but there's a real potential for you to get flanked and to get attacked by your enemy. Villager does manage to go down, or rather that we've got Vortex or Lucifron managing to take out a villager. Boar with 14 food left on it. Chokunu mass starting to build. You can see him jumping into that Barbican. Going to be able to fire off a few more shots. You can see he's overlooking and spotting out all those units coming through. Cute little raid attempt up towards this position, but villagers make it out just in time. Unfortunately for Crackety, he comes up empty-handed with that raid. A lot of villagers on gold. He's got, you know what? He's got so many villagers on gold, I can almost guarantee you, come back here in another 2 minutes and he's going to be sitting on like 800 gold. That's always the way it is with these Chinese players. You've got to be so careful. As long as he's not supervising everything. It doesn't look like he is. Does have the blacksmith out. It's Steeled Arrow. Steeled Arrow is the one I was thinking of. Is balanced projectiles even in here? It might be +2. So Steeled Arrow is your +1 tech. Now, one of the smart things about what Crackety did, and we talked about this earlier, is he lured the boar from down all the way up here. And essentially what that means is instead of having to put the Barbican on the boar down here, he's able to put it up and then leverage the hunt that was in front of his enemy's base. But speaking of bases, we start to see Vortex or Lucifron, whoever they may be, beginning to do a bit of a ram push. We've got a second ram coming out. His macro's looking pretty hot. He's sitting on 80 population at the moment. Villager count 40 and 40. Compare that over to Crackety, who's on 46 and 39, so he's definitely got a bit of a villager lead or economic unit lead, because that does include our Imperial officials, remember that. +1 coming in, looks like it's being supervised as well, some super smart moves. We'll check in over with him and how he's doing as he looks to try and hold on 5 villagers, 5 Chukunu in here. Now, one of the interactions to note is that Chokunu are much better against battering rams, or maybe I should just say battering rams are terribly bad against Chokunu now, because they require 40% less hits. Cute little attack coming in from Crackety, though. He's going to be just picking up some reinforcements here. Instead of using the spears or the horsemen out in this position to defend, and there is a knight. Actually, there's only one knight. It's a very low health knight. He's just going to be able to one-shot that if he chooses to. Chokunu numbers looking pretty decent. He will enter into the cinematic mode as the Chokunu begin to hold their ground. There's a lot of archers here, though. The battering rams continuing to batter down the hatches as well. Keep in mind, in that Barbican, we've got villagers, but it looks like the Barbican is just firing down. I can't tell exactly where it's firing down on, but Chokunu trying their best to hold. Archer numbers looking pretty healthy. Meanwhile, towards the center, all the reinforcements going to get picked up very easily. Chokunu looking to hold, doing a pretty decent job. Barbican going to be taking out that first battering ram. Second battering ram still alive. Chokunu numbers starting to dwindle. He continues to pick up reinforcements in that center. You can see he's trying his best to rally in units, but the Barbican now on fire. Chokunu going to be holding. Chokunu looking quite strong, actually. The reinforcements continuing to come in. Look at the Chokunu numbers right now. Chokunu numbers looking insane. This is crazy. This is the new China. This is the brand new China. Something that we are really yet to see. The feudal age power of China coming out. It's looked incredible this game. Crackety here has done an amazing job with China. And is that good game? That's good game getting called right there. Crackety here is going to be successful taking out Lucifron or Vortex, whichever one it may be. And indeed, he's got 700 gold in the bank. I'm not going to say I called it, but I totally called it. Fellas, go check out Crackety here. I'll leave a link in the description, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.